All right, I think we are back after some major tech difficulties, and we should be up and running. We've got the stream going apparently. It's been going for a few seconds, so we should be good. Now, Benny, we were about to hit into the fact of the Shark Park media crossover, and we asked your opinion on what you thought of the fact that they had some of the Sharkies players out there with some of the riders and obviously the cheer girls and stuff. Did you enjoy that part of their promotional aspects?
Yeah, I think it's good. There's probably a lot of people that don't, know Supercross exists. We hear this, pretty often. And for them to do a video and have it on both socials, the Supercross socials, I think it gets it out there, and people that probably would never have seen it will probably see it.
Yeah, I thought some of the videos they did afterwards have been actually pretty cool. The ones of like Dylan doing wheelies through the stadium, and then even the one that came out, maybe it was the day, maybe it was yesterday, but where they have one of the NRL guys walk into the change rooms and the bikes and the guys are all in there, and like, he's like, "Who are you guys?" I thought that was kind of cool. They've done a nice job of those couple of videos. So well done, AME, on that side of things.
Yeah, and it's it gets eyes on it, and I think also too, they had Matt Moss right around the outside of the field on Saturday, I think, when the game was on, just to add a little bit more awareness to it. So, with every little bit helps.
Yeah, I didn't know they did that. That's actually really cool. So yeah, they're diving deep into that crossover aspect, which is kind of cool. Similar, I would think. Similar, population groups going to an NRL game and a Supercross side of things, like, same sort of socioeconomic groups as such. So yeah, maybe this crossover might work well. Maybe it'll do jack all. We'll find out shortly, won't we?
Yeah, and it's we see it all the time with Melbourne or Adelaide or Wollongong. That people might walk past during the day and hear what's going on, or see what's going on and think, oh, we might just go and get out tonight. Part of that will help as well.
Yeah, let's see what they how their numbers go in terms of ticket sales and stuff, and obviously when we're there at the venue, we'll see how the crowd looks. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, and if I'm hoping they have some of the NRL players come to the evening, which I'm assuming they will. And then get out there and do some, things in between some of the races. Maybe they help present, podium trophies or whatever. But yeah, just be cool to continue that crossover more than just us going to them. Hopefully some of them come to us in when it's our event that's going on as well. So we'll see how that plays out. But you touched on Matt Moss. Some interesting news that came out of that day when he was there for that media day. Matt Moss is back on a green Kawasaki, and it turns out he's back with Empire Kawasaki after his stint with CDR Yamaha last year. I kind of didn't see that one coming.
No, I didn't see it coming either. It's interesting, but it'll be, interesting to see how it all goes. The Yamaha, the CDR stint didn't go that well. So hopefully this goes better.
Neither did the Empire one go that well, if we're completely honest. Like, he had that injury at Newcastle round, I think it was, because we remember talking to him after that night, and he was, I want to say, he was a bit concussed. And so things didn't go well that season either. Really, since he got off that privateer Yamaha the previous season before that, was when he had a decent run in Australian Supercross. At least he's had a pretty good run in that Indian Premier League thing that they had there for a little while, and we've seemed to have lost Benny again, which is fantastic. So we'll keep this one rolling without him. But yeah, Matt Moss unfortunately hasn't had a great run in Australian Supercross in recent times. So let's see what he can do when it comes time here. Oh, we're just trying to get Benny back into our stream here, and I just keep finding the wrong screen to bring him up here. Why can't I get, there we go, that one, and we want to bring you back in, Benny. We dropped you again. This is, I don't know if it's you or if it's me or if it's just everything fighting against me with this live streaming, telling me that we should be doing this on better equipment or some shit. I don't know.
Maybe we just need to start doing it from our phones.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I was just finishing off that Matt Moss point about the fact that it's been a while since he's had a good season. He's had okay bits and pieces here and there, but yeah, let's see what Empire does. And I don't know if he said it for sure, but I feel like this is the last run for Matt Moss in an Australian Supercross series.
Yeah, there's been rumblings about it for a few seasons now, but I'd say that this is probably it.
Yeah, particularly if it doesn't go great, you wouldn't think another team as such is going to throw out a another deal for Boost Mobile Australian Supercross in 2026. But you never know. I guess maybe if he does do super well, maybe he changes his mind and comes back again. But yeah, I feel like this is it for Matt Moss. On another thing from that day that I thought was humorous and then turned out to be absolutely nothing, but I had to laugh when I saw some of the photos. Dylan Wills is sitting there with a leader's red plate on his bike at the thing. And I'm like, geez, that's a flex from Dylan to rock up with a red plate on the bike. And then I messaged him, I messaged you, I messaged him. And it turned out it was just the plate that he had on the bike when we were doing the New South Wales State Championships. He was the points leader out there. So he got a red plate that I was actually commentating on that series on their YouTube stream. And yeah, he just left it on the bike, Benny. And I thought, damn, we missed an opportunity there. He could have been flexing on the field.
Yeah, and he's not afraid. Remember back to taking out or trying to take out Vince Freeze in Melbourne. So he's not one to shy away from making people laugh or talk about him.
Yeah, that was actually that video of him in that takeout, and then the reverse takeout where he got taken out by Vince a corner or two later. That's been running on socials again. Somebody, I think it was the World Supercross Group's been using that recently for some promos. So yeah, he's not afraid, and he also does cool stuff too, like that. Remember the bike in the box that he had going, like that sort of Hot Wheels sort of situation. That was really cool. 2 years ago now, I think that was. So yeah, look, he's a cool guy. I just thought maybe he was having a bit of a dig there, but it didn't pan out that way when we found out that news from him direct. So yeah, it was nice to catch up with Dylan quickly there as well. But yeah, he wasn't doing it for anything other than the fact that it was left over from the New South Wales State Motocross titles, where he was the MX1 champion in that class. So yeah, look, it is what it is that he was running it. Alrighty, Benny. Other news, we touched on it. CDR Yamaha, they're international riders they've been looking for. They mentioned this publicly towards the end of the motocross season that when Jed Beaton went down, that they were going to try and fill this spare seat for Supercross with an international. And it seems like they're still trying to work out the nuts and bolts of that one. And nobody's been confirmed. There's been some rumors around. I don't know if you've seen any of those on X or Twitter, depending on which one you want to call it these days.
No, I haven't seen anything yet, but yeah, it's been talked about, and it'll be interesting to see whether they do get someone. You know, you've got Savachi, you've got Dean Wilson, Brayton a few years ago, but all on one color, all on the Honda. So it'd be good to see an international star on a different bike battling the Honda team.
You have to think by now that Dak's a little bit frustrated, let's say, in the polite sense, of being beaten by the Hondas for however many years it is now that he hasn't gotten a title in that MX1 class or the SX1 class. So yeah, you'd have to think he's trying to put someone decent on the bike. I did hear a rumor of somebody that would have been quick, but has a history of being injured for a period of time. But that one's not going ahead apparently. So there is somebody in the works to join Aaron Tanti who is going to be on that team. Now I'm actually heading out to the YZ450 2026 launch with Yamaha Australia next Thursday, and the CDR team is meant to be a part of that. So I'm hoping to catch up with those guys and maybe find out who it is if they haven't already announced it by then. So yeah, maybe the next Fastline show will have a drop on who that is, and we can talk about what potential we have for a battle here in Australian Supercross. But we also, you touching on there a little bit, and this wasn't part of our notes, but the Honda guys are going to split those efforts a bit in World Supercross and Australian Supercross, because Uriev's working in both of those series. And when I spoke to Joey Savachi, who's our defending Australian SX1 champ, I spoke to him at, where was that? Redbud, I think it was, pre-race there on the press day. He was not planning to be doing any of the Australian Supercross Championship. Now, whether things have changed a tiny bit because of that Sydney date moving, and maybe he does the Sydney and the Melbourne round because it's AUSX and he runs that number one plate to appease Honda Australia. I don't know. And maybe he gets pressured for that. But at that point, he was saying he wasn't going to be doing any Australian Supercross Championship. And that would mean there'd be no number one plate out on track.
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to see.
So, yeah. So, look, we'll have a few things there to talk about in the next few weeks once we find out a little bit more about rider lineups and whatnot. Now, some minor sort of things changing along the way here. One of the privateer men out and about, he's been on our show in the last couple of weeks, probably a couple of months now that I think about it. Elijah Weesey's announced during the week that he's switching brands this year for the upcoming Supercross series. He's going to be over on the green machines this year. He's moved away from his Yamahas that he's been on for quite some time now, and he's going to be heading over to those Kawasaki's. Now, we keep losing Benny here. I'm going to blame his internet connection while he's not here and he can't hear me. But we get him back in here. So, yeah, Benny, Elijah Weesey switching to Cowies this year.
Yeah, and I can't wait. The Yamahas are always looking top notch, and it'll be interesting to see what he does with the Kawasaki's. He's been riding a few different brands the last few months. I think, the Yamaha, the Cowie, I think he was on a KTM as well at a ride day or something. But yeah, switching to the Cowie and, sort of having a bit of Cowie Australia support will, help him a lot.
Yeah, it was a nice little announcement post that he did. There's Elijah's flair through the photo shoots were pretty good. But yeah, I am interested to see because you did mention it there. He does have some of the best looking bikes graphic wise in the pits in the last few years. He's done some different things. People have obviously then started picking up and copying that stuff, but he seems to be sort of setting the trend at times with that. So yeah, interested to see what he looks like, graphics, gear kit, all that sort of stuff, because he does present well on that side of things when he's at the races. So we'll see how that's going. Another privateer who's on our show regularly, I've actually been in touch with him recently, Ryan Kohlenberg. He is actually trying to promote his upcoming efforts for the season in this Boost Mobile Australian Supercross Championship. He's actually running, and probably right now, probably still going, he's running a trivia night of all things, Benny, down on the South Coast, trying to get some locals involved. He's got some good support with the Rain and Horn in Berry there, and they're helping him put on this night. But if you want to be able to support him, check out my Instagram. I reposted it, but he's running this R1, ARWON racing team on his Insta's pages. So check that out, and you can help support him if you're possibly able to. But Benny, it's good to see these guys doing all they can to try and raise the funds to be a part of the season.
Yeah, I actually messaged Ryan and said if it wasn't on a Tuesday night and 6 hours away, I probably would have popped down to have some fun. But
we've just lost Benny there yet again. But yeah, you're right. The fact that all of our riders are spread so far around the country, it's hard to be a part of all of these things when they pop up. Even that media day with the Shark Park, it's just sort of short notice. You can't always jump back into that and get there. It's just a bit difficult to do. To attend some of these things, Benny, it's difficult to be a part of it all the time when it's so far away. Our riders are all over the country.
Yeah, and you have it sort of, it doesn't help being in the middle of the week. I suppose not even the middle, it's Tuesday, but
it's close enough to the middle.
Hopefully, yeah. I think I saw that they had 60 tickets or something sold, so that's not a bad turnout for a Tuesday night. And there was probably more maybe at the door later on this afternoon. So I think that he will benefit from that greatly.
Yeah, look, hopefully for Ryan, it's a bit of a money turner there, so he can maybe put a few more dollars towards, whether it's getting there earlier for a day or in travel, or having a closer hotel, or even just a few more spare parts in case things go sideways, as they can always do in Supercross when you have that inevitable, step through the bars moment in practice or whatever. So, look, hopefully it just means that his program can be as, up and tight as it can be. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of some sponsors and stuff, Benny, for this Boost Mobile Series, obviously Boost is on board for the Australian Supercross Championship, but there's been some bigger announcements with this season with some sponsors coming on and some coming back. And one coming back is Yamaha, and they're going to do that YZ65cc Cup again. So the young kids are going to get a chance out on track, which I think is good. Gives them a bit of exposure to Supercross. Gives a little bit of excitement to the crowd because you never know what's going to happen in those races, do you, Benny?
No, we've seen some funny things over the years with the 65s.
Yeah, the kids get wild at times, so that's always interesting to watch. But then we've also got like Shannon's Insurance that have joined in, DeWalt Tools, My Pain Now, plus a couple other of the brands. We've got Honda and Kawasaki and KTM as well listed on the site. So, look, there's plenty. It seems like there's plenty of support of the series. We obviously don't know how many dollars each one of those companies has put into it specifically, but it's a pretty good start, pretty good list of brands.
Yeah, and it goes back to helping with the exposure. These sponsors have social pages and whatnot, and they're probably getting putting posts up saying that we've sponsored this, or the collaborating posts with Oz Supercross, and therefore there's eyes on it that probably weren't on it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That collab part where it then spreads to however many followers they've got, and like someone like Shannon's would have a few thousand, if not tens of thousands, people following their social pages. So hopefully that's then going across and broadening our exposure, which is only a good thing. So I am interested, but if to see other than those sorts of social posts during the week, if there's any presence from those businesses on ground at the time, other than banners and the electronic signboards and stuff, but whether they have like a presence in the pit party as such, that they're giving away stickers or keychains or whatever it might be. But it'd be cool if they were that level of invested.
Yeah, and people love free stuff. So so if they're in the pits giving stuff away, the kids will go and grab it even if they don't know what it is. But then they take it home. The parents have it, or say it's a stubby holder, and dad goes to his mates and has a drink. Oh, where'd you get that stubby holder from? Well, that sort of stuff. It gets it out there.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's all positive news for it. But let's finish on maybe the biggest news of this week in terms of Australian Supercross. The announcement from a couple of days ago now, we were going to try and do this last week, but obviously all the streaming issues that we continue to have throughout this recording even has prevented us from getting to it early enough. But the Adam Cincerulo announcement, I know you're stoked, Benny. You are an AC9 fan.
Yeah, and I'm actually disappointed in myself.
Why's that?
Because I should have put it in behind me, up hanging. It's actually hidden just above the.
You're gonna have to rearrange the backdrop so that he can see it, maybe, and we can get him on here or something after the race, and you can know how much of a fan you are of his.
But yeah, no, I was at work and I actually hadn't checked my phone, and you sent me a message, and I went on Facebook and had a look, and yeah, just it's a big pull for to have him in Australia, and that'll be a big drawing card for Sydney.
Yeah, I don't dislike the idea. I think it's great that he's coming out. I wish it was when he was in his prime, let's say, inverted commas, prime, and he was racing the event. That would have been really cool. He is down to do an exhibition race. He's not actually racing the event. He is meant to be in the commentary booth for the evening, so he'll be on the TV broadcast. And they've said this exhibition race. Now, they haven't specifically said who the exhibition race will be against, but if you read between the lines in the press release, I'm pretty certain it'll be Justin Brayton that he will be racing, and that is damn obvious because the two of them do their JB and AC podcast together, and they also were on Race Day Live together, and Justin Brayton is however many time, 5-time, you remember this number, 5-time Australian Supercross champ, isn't he, Benny?
Yep.
In joke there. We'll figure that. Someone can ask you about that one day in the pits when we're walking around.
It aged very nicely.
Yeah. But yeah, so we can sort of read between the lines. We guessing it's going to be Justin Brayton versus Adam Cincerulo. And I also heard some rumors through some of these stuff on socials as well that they're going to be mic'd up to the commentary box. So, Denny Ham, if he's doing the main commentary again, he'll be talking to them as they're riding around. And I feel like this is a little bit of a let's jump in front of the AMA, because I hear rumors as well that there might be something about some in-ear rider commentating, not commentating, but, two-way communications in their series coming up shortly. So is this a bit of a, exposure to the world for it? I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it works. We've tried live cameras on the bikes and whatnot, but yeah, I'm not sure how the communications will go while racing, or even if it's exhibition race or not. But it'll be good to see how it works.
I hope if they do, if this is to in fact bring it in across the, like AMA and our series in time as well, full time to the riders from their teams. I hope that our broadcast people, not just Australian AMA, MXGP, they don't go over the top with using it, like putting it in every second they get, like every single one of these things that pops up as a team message, that it gets forced down our throats into the broadcast. I hope they do something more along the lines of the Formula One, where we only get the broadcast, they interject those things into the broadcast sparingly, like a Formula One does. Just popping Benny back into our feed for like the 50th millionth time tonight. But just saying, Benny, that, I hope they don't jam these broadcasts, in the broadcast, they don't jam these team communications down our throats. I hope they do it more like the F1, where it's more of a, when it's important, or it's a spicy comment that they put it in. I hope they don't just, every single one they hear, they throw it onto the broadcast screen.
Yeah, they need to just pick and choose. They'd obviously have people listening to it, but just get the good stuff, and then hopefully the commentators don't talk over it, which does happen sometimes.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they play that out. But like we said, the big news is that Adam Cincerillo is coming. He's going to be a part of the broadcast team, much like Justin Brayton was sort of an add-in last year to the team. Ended up being a part of it, and then we had the one round that he couldn't get there. Jason Thomas popped out. It's nice that they're bringing international flair in. Interested to see what they announce as the main partners, and if it's going to be Denny Ham again as the lead. We'll have to wait and see. And again, might be another Fastline show that we bring that stuff out and chat about it too. So we'll see how that all goes.
Yeah, you just never know. It's always good to see, the regular people come back, but to have the US commentators as well, depending on who it is it just adds that little bit more to the people that are, I guess, diehard fans that hear the voices, every weekend.
Well, for many too, it's a chance that they would have never got to see Adam Cincerillo in person. Even the riding aspect, they've watched it on TV. As much as he's not racing, like I said, in his prime, they're going to get to see him ride a bike with a Cowie with a 9 on it, and it's him in. He's not actually going to be in Fox Gear. He's in Alpine Stars, I believe now. So, yeah, but they get to see him, which they might never have done because they might never have been able to afford to travel to the US. So that is cool that they bring them out. But yeah, we still need to not forget our homegrown talent as well. So let's spread it evenly amongst everybody with the funds that we've got for these promotional tools. But that's it. Have you got anything else to add here, Benny, or have we covered all the topics that we needed to for this Fastline show?
No, I think that's it. Sorry for all the interruptions for the people watching.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna have to chop out the big blank section in the audio they're gonna put up on the podcast. But yeah, we're gonna work this out. It might take us a few more goes yet, maybe a few more $1,000 to upgrade a computer here that's sitting next to me. That's probably gonna get thrown out the window once I hang this up completely. But yeah, look, it's a work in progress. We're trying to make this a bit more entertaining, a bit more visual. Obviously, still have it on the podcast side of things, so it's just audio, but also to be able to bring in and you see some of the other riders and stuff and just up our game. That's what we want to do. So stick with us. We'll get it right eventually, and you'll be a part of it. But before we go, thanks to obviously Benny. Thanks to you guys and girls out there for watching and listening. Don't forget to order some t-shirts to support us so we can pay for a new laptop to get this stream to run smoothly. That'd be great. We do have those t-shirts available. Just info@alwaysmoto.com to email order it. Thanks to technicmotorsport.com. Remember, they are your go-to for all the suspension needs. That's it for this Fastline episode. Like we said at the start, if you know how to get the Fastline, if you've been told the Fastline at the track, this is just the same thing here. It's just with the moto news. All right, we're out.